The first 30 seconds of this video reveal a shocking idea that will make you question everything you thought you knew about classic Bomberman games. Because behind the cheerful explosions, colorful mazes, and cute little characters lies a retro theory so strange, funny, and unsettling that it may completely change your perception of Bomberman forever. And by the end of this video, you will see every level, every enemy, and every bomb in a way you never imagined making this exploration both hilarious and deeply intriguing. From the very first games released in the 80s and 90s, Bomberman has been celebrated as the hero who clears mazes, defeats enemies, and rescues the day with his strategic placement of bombs. Yet when you examine the logic of his actions, the outcomes, and the design of the levels, a completely different story begins to emerge, one where Bomberman is not a hero at all, but a chaos agent who thrives on destruction, controls life and death within his world, and imposes order through explosions rather than saving anyone. Consider the enemies first, because at a glance, they seem like simple obstacles or cartoonish creatures to dodge and destroy, yet if you analyze the levels closely, you begin to notice that they have their own paths, patterns, and routines, suggesting that they are simply living beings or autonomous entities, minding their own business until Bomberman arrives and traps them, turning their existence into a deadly game where his actions are the only variable that decides life or death, which is both funny in its absurdity and horrifying when viewed with adult eyes. The destructible bricks are another fascinating piece of this retro theory because they are everywhere in every stage-hiding power-ups, creating pathways, and collapsing at the slightest touch, giving Bomberman control over the terrain in a way that makes him almost godlike. Each explosion not only eliminates enemies, but also reshapes the world, which raises the unsettling idea that Bomberman is not saving anything but simply altering an environment that may never have needed saving in the first place, making his heroic actions feel more like careful domination than selfless bravery. Power-ups, which players traditionally see as rewards, become tools of escalation under this theory, because increasing bomb range, speed, or quantity is not just a gameplay mechanic, it's a way to expand Bomberman's ability to create chaos, enforce control, and push the entire arena closer to destruction, transforming every level into a calculated escalation of tension and danger. The more powerful Bomberman becomes, the more he ensures that no creature survives without his intervention, which hilariously contradicts the idea of a traditional hero, as instead of protecting, he dominates. The multiplayer mode of Bomberman games adds even more layers to this theory, because what seems like innocent fun with friends is actually a social experiment in betrayal. Competition and chaos, where each player is encouraged to trap the others in explosions, manipulate the arena, and watch as friends are literally blown away, creating an absurdly dark comedic tone hidden behind the bright colors and upbeat music. This unintended interpretation suggests that Bomberman's heroism extends beyond the single-player levels into orchestrating controlled chaos in social spaces. Level design itself tells a story if you pay attention, because the mazes are often claustrophobic, symmetrical, and designed to channel movement in ways that maximize conflict, control, and destruction rather than offer freedom or exploration. The empty spaces, the isolation of corridors, and the shrinking stages in later levels all suggest a world that exists to be manipulated, exploded, and controlled. And Bomberman is the agent through which this happens. The cheerful music and bright visuals ironically mask a narrative of domination and control, making the game both hilarious and curiously unsettling. Even Bomberman's behavior supports this retro theory because while he is animated to appear determined and heroic, his silence, lack of empathy, and single-minded focus on laying bombs without questioning who or what he is destroying creates a humorous contrast with traditional heroes, making him seem like a tiny, unassuming overlord with an obsession for explosions, whose only moral code is the efficiency of destruction. The more you watch, the funnier and more intriguing it becomes, as the absurdity of his heroic journey shines through. The bombs themselves are a central piece of this dark yet funny theory, because they represent instantaneous life or death decisions. And Bomberman is the only character capable of controlling when and where these decisions happen. Every explosion wipes out potential life, it assisted and resets outcomes in the blink of an eye, which is both hilarious in its absurdity and deeply curious because the game teaches players to celebrate destruction as the ultimate solution, turning traditional moral interpretations on their head. The hidden narrative suggested by the level's enemies, power-ups, and mechanics creates a complete retro theory where Bomberman is not a savior, but a necessary agent of chaos. A character who imposes structure through annihilation, and a figure whose heroic actions are celebrated simply because players delight in manipulating his world, inadvertently turning destruction into entertainment, which makes the game one of the strangest, funniest, and most unintentionally dark titles of retro gaming history. Even the humor in Bomberman games, which was likely never intentional, strengthens this theory because the cheerful sound effects, silly animations, and innocent-looking characters sharply contrast with the consequences of their actions, creating a comedic dissonance that adds charm while also reinforcing the idea that Bomberman operates in a morally gray world where heroism and destruction are indistinguishable, leading to moments that are both amusing and deeply thought-provoking. The final realization is that retro Bomberman games were never just simple arcade puzzles they are worlds in miniature arenas of power, chaos, and unintended comedy where one small hero or ant manipulates life, death, and environment at his own pace, creating endless entertainment while hiding a surprisingly dark narrative under colorful tiles, cheerful explosions, and addictive gameplay mechanics. This reinterpretation of Bomberman as a non-hero adds layers of curiosity, hilarity, and intrigue that make revisiting these games a fresh, engaging, and strangely philosophical experience. In conclusion, if you enjoyed uncovering this retro theory, laughing at the absurdity, and exploring the curious hidden world of Bomb, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into retro gaming secrets. Leave a comment sharing which Bomberman secret shocked you the most, and share this video with friends who grew up with retro games and are ready to see their favorite bomb-dropping hero in a completely new and hilariously dark light.